What's up, creative people? We are back doing a video, and it's more of an organizational makeover, a little bit of a video. I cleaned out my pantry, but I need to make it attractive because I don't really know what's in here when I have it and things just get stuffed into it. So we're just gonna do the whole thing. So this is our pantry. It is like a walk-in pantry, and we got our floors obviously into here when we redid them. And I've cleaned it out, thrown out all the expired stuff because I think that everything just gets shoved in here. I've made sure that everything is like kind of organized a little bit. I need to get jars for most of the stuff on this shelf just so I can have it easily accessible rather than using all that. And I have a lot of organizational things that I bought at Amazon. And we came in here, we looked at it, and we were like, well, wouldn't it be nice if we painted it, because it is very dirty in some places, and it's been, used for 20 years almost, so, or longer, and it needs just a revamp, and we would like to make it look good. So I'm going to actually take all of these wire shelves out, because who even likes those anyway, and I'm going to fill all the holes that the shelves came out of, and then I'm going to paint this room, and we're going to put new shelves in, and we're going to put our jars in, our baskets in, everything to make it look really nice. And we're going to do some things to make it more organized and keep everything as is, so it's not gonna look like a mess. You know what's great noise when I'm like doing things like this? Putting on your friends' YouTube channels. So I'm watching or listening to our Z-Roll and their Walt Disney World trip from earlier this year in 2021, because even though I've seen it probably a dozen times, it's just noise and I like to hear it, and it's a great time. We're in a pandemic. We have these, they are the ones that are holding the shelf up, like they have the flathead, and you never know how to get them out of the wall. Just Googled it. Get a flathead screwdriver, and don't do it from the wall. Do it from the front where the actual nail is, because it's a flat tip. I don't know why these are even used, that seems ridiculous. But then you pop the nail out, and then you can just pull this out of the wall. This is a revelation. I've put so many huge holes in the wall from pulling this like completely out. Just FYI, you guys, fun fact for the day. So I can taken out all of the brackets for the shelves, but as you can see, they are pretty large and deep holes, so I'm actually going to fill them with mud and this whole wall. But this is flat paint, which Mom and I both discussed that flat paint gets so scuffed and shows dirt so much. And obviously this is a pantry, so it has things in and out of it all the time. And I mean, it has these marks, this one, something spilled apparently or splashed, and I have no idea how that even happened. Cans rubbing up against the wall, just stuff like that. But it is flat, and it makes it kind of look dirty almost, so we're going to fix that and make this just nice and inviting. Okay, so I have sanded everything, the holes that I filled, sanded them with a 180 pad, just a handheld sponge, and I wiped those down. I vacuumed in here, I got everything up off the walls, and I cleaned that to make sure I was painting a nice clean surface. And now I went ahead and edged with my edge pad the walls. I'm going to keep this dark color. I thought we could go dark in here because we were going to put white shelves, and we're gonna have clear jars so the darkness will warm it up. And on this wall, we're gonna paint it white and do a little pattern on it, so that's gonna be really great, so stay tuned to the end to see that. Super easy DIY instead of doing wallpaper on just a little wall. But I'm gonna paint these this dark blue color, which is the thing of our cabinets. You'll see this color a lot coming up soon, so I'm gonna paint those and we're gonna see what happens. So I am painting over a flat paint, so it is absorbing this new paint, which is a satin or semi-gloss finish, and it is absorbing it, so I'm gonna have to do a lot of coverage on this, but I'm using the Behr Marquee, which is like the highest paint that Behr sells, and you get that at Home Depot, and it's like full coverage, one coat situation, so even though it is absorbing it, the places that are like actually thick and nice, I'm definitely not gonna need another coat. So as long as I do full coverage and make sure I get every spot, I think I'm good to go. Done. So as you can see, I've painted the walls that are going to be this color, and now this wall is going to be my next project. I'm going to paint it white, and then I'm going to do a pattern on it that's pretty easy that you can replicate at home on any wall, but I just want to make a statement wall right here when you walk in because it's the first thing that you see. You open the door and there you go. So I'm going to paint it white because we have white shelves, so it'll kind of blend in, and then it's going to look pretty great, I hope. So let's do it. I painted this wall white, and I'm going to take a magic eraser off, like knockoff, just because I can use the edge as basically like a foam brush. So I'm going to take the blue paint that I painted, and I'm going to start at the very top with this short edge and kind of make a pattern just every so often and do that. And then I'm going to flip it to the long edge, do it, and just keep the pattern going and not be super precise about it because I do want it to look kind of, I don't want to say natural because it's not, but like less, not super uniform. So we're gonna see how that turns out. Obviously, if I hate it, I could just paint over it, but we're gonna see and then let it dry overnight. It is pretty late, 11:30 at the moment. So I'm gonna let this dry overnight, and then we are going to see what it looks like in the morning, put our shelves up, and then make sure they're level. And then we're gonna put everything in our beautiful jars that we went to IKEA today and did, and kind of organize it, put everything in the organizational things that I got. I'll show you those as well. So let's get to painting. So I did it. Obviously it's not perfect. I didn't want it to be perfect, but I think it looks pretty good. And the walls are painted, so now I'm going to go to bed, and then tomorrow we're gonna finish and put the shelves up. So here we have it finished. I hung the shelves on this wall, and I'm going to hang them on the opposite wall, but this was harder than it looked, and man, I'm so glad these are up. Look how great this looks. So I've come outside because these are the ones that are going to go on that dark wall, not the accent wall, to hold up the other shelves, the smaller shelves. And I taped it off where the shelf part is sticking up, like that's what I'm attaching to the shelf. But I'm going to spray the other part with this Kills sealer to see if I can actually paint the underside, the blue color, so they won't be stark white on top of that dark color, and so it'll blend in a little bit more. So we're gonna see if that works. So I got this at IKEA. It is basically for filing, but I thought that it would, I didn't use it anymore, and I thought that it would be great to put our cookbooks in. We only have a few, and to put our reusable bags in, so they're easily grabbable, and we can bring in here and unload the groceries and whatnot. So I'm gonna put those in here. So it did work. This made a really sticky, normal texture, so it's easy to paint, not super shiny, and you know how these things are when they're super shiny. Also, I'm in my messy garage, please pardon that. But this was super easy to adhere to, but I am going to need to do a second coat just because it is such a dark color going on stark white, and it isn't a perfect texture. So I'm just going to let these dry for maybe an hour, and then I'm going to come out and do a second coat, and we're going to put them on a wall. And then when I do the holes or put the screws in, I am going to paint over that with just a detail brush to make sure that it's not just some random silver piece in the middle of a dark wall. And there you go. I need to find a way to like make them stand up because they are kind of leaning, but there they go. So I put everything in my jars, and I got these at IKEA, super great price, but I put everything in here, and my trick is I put a piece of masking tape on the bottom with the expiration date so I don't have to have a label on the front, and it's easy. So we've been living in this pantry for about 2 weeks, and I wanted to show you what it looks like completed and actually lived in, because that is what a pantry looks like. It's not super attractive, super pretty, but I do feel pretty organized with my flowers, my jars here, just keeping things as organized as possible, and just being able to see everything and go from there. I have all my seasonings and things like that, are things that we rarely use, like if we use our recyclable paper plates, but we have batteries, Swiffer stuff, obviously cans, onion, potatoes would go down there too. And then we have random recipes and bags and just things you use in the kitchen. Obviously it's not perfect, but I love it. Well, we started living in the pantry. It's been about 2 weeks since I finished, and I have put the hooks back on, as you can see, with our cooler bags and things like that. I also put our like plastic bag reusable bin here, and then I did the reusable bag like slots here like I showed you, and some cookbooks are here that were on the shelf, but this is what it looks like lived in. I've got my cans back, I've got like packaging from the store that I don't have jars for, and I put everything back, our lanterns, our Swiffer stuff, everything like that. And then like our cans, just stuff that doesn't look pretty on camera. This is actually what it looks like. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I really enjoyed this, and I'm so excited to do the rest of the house and show you what it looks like, but I'm really proud of this space. It was just on a whim that I did it, and I think it turned out really well. So I am going to cook up another project, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys. Oh, make sure to like and subscribe. That's a thing, right? Like this video if you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe. And also there's a little bell notification next to that, and if you turn that on, it notifies you when I upload. But there's also like a video here, and there's a video here, and then there's a subscribe button right here. Make sure to check it out. Okay, bye.